Let me grab this link and drop it in. I'm gonna get ready to go ahead and intro. Oh, let me change this color too. Get this lid up here. Can't have my feet hanging because if I do, they'll be swollen. We ain't got nobody out here. I guess if you ain't out there, I'll get on there soon. Well, at least you hit the button. Yeah, we know it's going this time. We got one person, so that's probably Bud. Let's get her started. All right, bye-bye. Okay, bye. What is Scooby-Doo? Welcome back to After the Snap. I'm your host, Tasha Pierce. Joining me again is my good friend, Davina.
Hi.
What it do, girl? What it do?
Oh, nothing. A little something.
Just a little something.
A little something.
Well, if you didn't know what you landed on today, this is the weekly wrap up. This is where we wrap up the week in entertainment news. And we play a couple of games here and there. Black movie trivia, black media trivia. I got to make sure I don't just say movie, it's media. Mm-hmm. And today, if you are interested, we plan on having the Eternals spoiler discussion.
Which I'll be listening to. I won't again. I'll be listening to so I know what to look for when I go see this movie.
They're going to tell you way too much.
I'm
loving more than you want to know. Huh?
I'm loving the glasses. You know, red is my color.
Uh-huh.
I wore my red glasses today.
So we matching. We are matching. So yeah. Well, speaking of Eternals, and this is like an off the top, we didn't even have this on our agenda for today. But Eternals is still the powerhouse of the box office. Of course, its only competition this week was probably Clifford the Big Red Dog, which surprisingly is doing okay. But Eternals started off last weekend, $71 million opening. This weekend added another 27, right?
Yeah, 27 plus, they said.
So yeah, we're on our way. It's moving its way to being a profitable movie, and that's all domestic. So overseas, I'm not even 100% sure. I didn't even check the overseas numbers, but almost 100 million domestic is a very good start. Let's just see what kind of legs this movie has. Will it last after next week? Because it gets some competition in King Richard, which is something that I'm very excited to watch. And also that Ghostbusters Afterlife. That's another movie that is going to be coming for the Eternals neck in the box office. Which one of those are you more excited for, D? King Richard or Ghostbusters?
King Richard. King Richard, definitely. I finally saw the lady version of Ghostbusters, and it was pretty good. I was shocked.
Well, so many people gave that movie a lot of heat, a lot of flack. Of course, we know the misogynistic side of things, but then they also said that it wasn't done well. Didn't watch it. Didn't watch it. I didn't have a lot of interest. What made me more interested in this afterlife, the Ghostbusters afterlife, is the angle of going at it with the kids. So
Yeah.
like when it's the kids fighting the ghosts, something about that just made me say, you know what, that one I'm gonna check out. I'm gonna give it an opportunity. Plus, it's being directed by the original director's son. And
Okay.
it's always nice when you see that someone is trying to keep the legacy alive of the original version of it. Again, I didn't watch the female version, but I believe that a lot of the heat that it was taking was simply because it was women. And you know how some men, let me
Not
put a
just the men.
qualifier on that. Some men are
Not just
about,
the men.
huh?
Not just the men.
Right. Yeah.
Hey,
Yeah. There's a lot of gatekeepers out there that go around and try to tell people what a franchise is supposed to be. Just appreciate what you're getting.
yes, the creativity and the
Yeah.
inclusion. Hey, I
Yeah.
just looked up the Eternals and it says it opens to 91 million overseas and 162 million global box office. That's from
So
Deadline.
so that was the first weekend.
Now that one, I'm not sure.
Look
I
at the
just
date on there. Look at the date
this
on
was
your article.
reported. This was reported 6 days ago.
Okay, so that was first weekend numbers. So if
Okay.
it was 162 million in the first weekend, and we adding 20 million, 27 million domestic, you could probably say another 10 million at the absolute least uh overseas. So it's on its way. We had already discussed that it needs to probably make six six to $800 million to be profitable. Yeah, you got to kind of multiply what you spent making the movie by at least three
Yeah,
before it becomes profitable.
that's understandable. They may
Yeah.
get there in time.
Oh, I'm sure that even if it doesn't get there, it'll be enough buzz around award season. Because I'm not
Hmm.
saying there's going to be no best actor or nothing like that, but there could be potentially best costuming,
Hmm.
cinematography,
Hmm.
the director, even though people feel some type of way
Hmm.
about this director and everything, she might even get a little bit of a buzz for what she put together. The editing was done well too.
I'm thinking that with the holiday season, with the kids being out of school, they might opt to go see externals as well.
You know what? I'm thinking because Spider-Man No Way Home is coming out on, I think it was December 19th. Um that's going it's got to be gone by the time Spider-Man No Way Home comes out,
Mhm.
because ain't nothing going to top Spider-Man No Way Home in the box office. Only thing that I'm looking at is this going to be like one of the first pandemic era movies, and by this I'm talking Spider-Man No Way Home.
Mhm.
Is that going to be one of the first pandemic era movies that actually hits $100 million in its opening weekend?
Mhm.
Because hello, Lysandra. Yeah,
Yes.
because this is something that everybody's excited about. That doggone Spider-Man No Way Home. It is all the conversation.
Yeah.
Lysandra,
Who doesn't love
Lysandra,
the
we knew
Spider?
you was gonna be here. We was like, well, I wonder when she gonna log on in.
Spider Man has been like a part of our lives for my at least my whole entire life. So
Because don't you remember the old show that used to come on like at Channel 7 or something back in the day? Well, we say at Channel 7 where we live, that's
yes,
what channel it might
yes,
have been on.
yes,
You remember that show that used to come on TV? It was a live action version of Spider-Man way back in the 70s. You might have been too young. I might have been the one that was old enough to remember.
yeah, Tasha. I think you got me on that one.
Let me see
You and
now.
Jimmy may remember that
I
one.
bet you Jimmy remembers
I'm gonna make sure I
Spider-Man.
text him.
Yeah, ask him about if he remembers that.
I remember getting up on Saturday mornings and Spider-Man was on, and the normal cartoons of that nature. But yeah, I watched it then, but I didn't even know about the one you're talking about. So I'm gonna have to ask my dad. My dad remember all that stuff.
It was Nicholas Hammond who
Mm-hmm.
played the original way back in the way back. Uh, and I want to say, oh, well, this is like they're talking about the Japanese. I'm talking about the TV show. Let me see if the TV show comes up here, because that's who he actually was saying that he was not invited to. There are rumors that several Spider-Man actors who played the character over the
Mm-hmm.
years have been invited to be part of this Spider-Man No Way Home show or movie. And he was like, he wished he would have been invited. And I'm like, I wish you would have too, because you did play Spider-Man, even if it was way back in the way back. And I mean, way back. I was a little girl. Oh gosh. So yeah, we've got we're keeping it a little light. Oh, Lysandra says she's watching her movie again. I don't know. Did I tell you how many times that girl sat down and watched Shang-Chi yesterday?
Oh no, how many?
Shang-Chi in the Legend of the Ten Rings. I think she might have watched it 3 times yesterday. She was so excited for this movie, and I'm so glad that she got an opportunity finally to see it. But she
I
liked it.
love, I loved it too. One, it was so pretty. Oh my God! It
Mm-hmm.
the where the destinations that they went to shoot this was so pretty. Um, I don't know. One of my favorite scenes is when they had the fight in the forest and
Yes.
where the wife lives.
Put them hands on him.
Yeah,
Oh, girl, she
yeah,
got him.
I loved it. From the surround, it was like a beautiful dance.
Yes, it was
It was
so
well put together.
elegant,
Yes, I was like, oh my goodness.
and it didn't take long. And this is like, of course, this is another side conversation, but it um, it was like, girl, it was like a dance,
Yeah.
and it's like what I was talking about with Eternals.
Hmm.
Eternals told us a lot of things, like using their words.
Hmm.
They told us a lot of things. Shang-Chi showed us a lot of
Yes.
things. So even during the points where there was some talking, some narration
Hmm.
over things that had happened in the past, we got to see little Shang-Chi and how he was feeling when his father took him to those different places to find the people that killed his mother. We
Hmm.
got to see the look on his face. We got to understand his feeling. Whereas when you're talking about Eternals, all we got is what you told us. There
Hmm.
was no emotion
Nothing
of
to back it
no
up.
emotions behind it. Huh?
I said nothing to back it up. Nothing to
Yeah. You
give
don't
it
get
that
the
visual effect.
yeah. And when you go to the movies, I understand that exposition is necessary sometimes, but then it comes to a point where you're using it a little too much.
Hmm.
Show me rather than tell me.
Hmm.
But yeah, but still a great movie. Eternals was a fantastic movie as well. Shang-Chi, however, is the talk of the town because of Disney Plus Day yesterday, and they dropped it on Disney Plus for that occasion, and people got an opportunity to watch it in IMAX at home, which is crazy. You got a big ass TV, you got a movie experience at the crib. So we've got a list of things that we prepared to talk to you guys about, but of course, you guys know that you can feel free to drop a comment, and if it's appropriate, I mean, I don't want nothing inappropriate,
No.
but if it's appropriate, we'll talk about it. We can
She
be
watched that movie
conversational.
4 times,
She done watched it 4 times already. Yeah.
and she's watching again.
it
Girl.
it is such a pretty movie to me, and she is a big old fan of those creatures, the mystical creatures that are in these types of movies. So I was like, this has got everything that she's gonna like in it. I'm glad she got an opportunity to watch it.
Oh boy.
Oh, Oh, and to look, I don't know, that these are people who don't particularly watch me on Saturdays, but I've got my nephew, my oldest nephew, my second baby is his birthday today. So I wanted to say I wanted to say happy birthday, Elijah. My Elijah, gosh, 24
Birthday.
years old. Lord have mercy.
Woo, 24.
Yeah. Do you remember 24? Shit.
I do.
Yeah. it was easier times. Well, no, I think for us, we were already parents and all that stuff. But
Yes, we were.
anywho, we can get to talking. We can reminisce, or we can go ahead and talk about the Transformers and Star Wars movies being pushed back. Uh, I am going to grab this report. This one is coming to us. This one is coming to us from the Hollywood Reporter. And let me share my screen for those of you at home. And if you were ever curious as to what articles we will be referring to when we are going through our prepared agenda, just take a look in the show notes or the description box, and you will see all the links, all the articles that I use to do my research for today's broadcast. But anyhow, we are going to talk about Star Trek and the Transformers movies being pushed back at Paramount. One of the things that's kind of shocked me was this whole Star Trek movie. I I wasn't aware that it was a real plan to have a Star Trek movie out, but I guess they at least thought about it or tried. Um, but again, coming from the Hollywood Reporter, Rise of the Beast has moved back a year to 2023, while the next installment in the Trek franchise shifts back 6 months to
Months.
December 2023.
Mm.
And um, yeah, this is coming. That Rise of the Beast film is now going to be coming out June 9th, 2023. It was supposed to. Whoa, was that my thing trying to pick up a video when I wanted to pick up videos? It won't. But here we are now. All of a sudden, you want to play.
I thought those was the kitties over there.
No, it's this stupid doggone those pop-ups. Anyhow, June 9th is 2023 is when we can expect that Transformers Rise of the Beast film. It was previously slated for June 24th, 2022, and it's coming from the Creed 2 director, Stephen Caple Jr., starring Anthony Ramos and Dominique Fishback. So this one is going to be set in the 90s. Oh, no. Yeah, set in the 1990s, the
Mhm.
globe-trotting property is nearing the end of principal photography, with locations shown in the film, including Brooklyn and Peru. They go into some locations.
Mhm.
Entertainment One, Hasbro's entertainment studio, is executive producing this here movie. Um, then we got a new CEO at Paramount, and that is one of the reasons why they are pushing that movie back, because we got a brand new CEO. And we also found out again the mysterious next Star Trek film, because, like I said, I consider myself a pretty diehard Trekkie. I did not know that they actually had product or actually had dates set for this next Star Trek property. Apparently, they wanted it to be December 22nd, 2023. This one is moving up into the slot that is vacated by the Transformers.
Mhm.
Um, it's going to June 9th, 2023. We don't even know if the original cast of the Abrams universe movies, we don't even know if those, what are they calling, the Kelvin universe? We don't know if they are coming back. I hope they are. I hope we'll see Chris Pine again as Captain Kirk. But I guess we're just gonna have to wait and see. One of the other things that I really liked when I read about this is that Matt Shackman, who was the director from WandaVision,
Mhm.
yeah, he's going to be directing this, and he did such an outstanding job with WandaVision. I cannot wait to see if he has got what it takes to get past this very fickle crowd of Star Trek enthusiasts. Uh, what do you think about that one? You got
I
any?
know the Trekkies will be very, very happy. Unfortunately, I'm not a Trekkie, but I'm going to try to get into this because I don't like to sit here and just listen to you and then I don't have any input on it. So I'm going to try. I've been going to task myself with listening to Clarence. So maybe this will give me some insight on what's going on in the Trekkie world.
And if you clearance discussing Trek, so
Mm-hmm.
if you are a older or newer Trekkie or Trekkie wannabe, that is an excellent resource. They have episodes you can go back to the beginning of their podcast catalog and see where they talked about some of the original series. They talked about you're going to get information about more than the new stuff, and I think they do an outstanding job. D has subscribed to Mr. Clarence, and I think Lysandra said that she was looking into subscribing too. I don't know if she has yet.
I
She'll
haven't
tell us in the
subscribed
chat.
yet, but I'm looking into it. I'm going
Yeah.
to get involved.
So yeah. So that's another resource. If you're somebody who wants to get into Trek and you just feel like it's 50 years of shows and movies, and then there's no way that you're going to catch up with that in moments, but you can get the highs from a
Mhm.
podcast like that. I appreciate you for supporting Clarence, friend of the show. Just yesterday, he was my off-screen producer. Didn't even know it. He was sending me the pictures for Disney Plus Day, and he was letting me know when things wasn't going right as far as my broadcast was concerned, because I got cut yesterday. Yeah, I got cut. Disney Plus did not like the fact that I was sharing parts of their presentations, so they shut me down. I wouldn't have even known. I'd have been still sitting there talking to myself if Clarence hadn't said, "Uh-oh, we got cut." So yeah, well,
Oh my
so
God. That's
um,
so cute.
and
Oh,
if you got anything to add or to talk about in the chat, we'll be glad to address it. Lysandra had asked, why are
mhm.
they pushing so many movies back? And it's different studio to studio, whatever their reasons will be. I don't know what the Star Wars situation, why they pushed that movie. I mean, there are rumors, but there is nothing that has been substantiated in fact as to why they pushed the Star Wars movies back. Again, the Star Trek, we've gotten a little pretty blanket excuse for why they've moved it up. It's the Transformer movies they got pushed. So we'll keep our eye on the situation. If it's something that is reportable, uh, we'll report it. And sometimes I will go dibble and dabble into those rumors, but I'm gonna make sure you know that I don't know what the hell if that's the truth or not, because I don't want y'all Grace Randolph and me. Grace Randolph, before you go to your article, because this ain't got nothing to do with nothing. But Grace Randolph, once again, Grace Randolph has reported something, and it could be true. She reported that the Doctor Strange movie had to go through these extensive research or reshoots because they had did a test screening for audiences, and the audiences didn't receive it well. So she reported that, and then everybody jumped down her flipping throat because she has a history of reporting things and then they not being 100% accurate. She
Mhm.
has those sources in inside of different studios and stuff though. So sometimes she's reporting what they told her, and it turns out to not be true. And then she is catching all kinds of he double hockey sticks because it didn't come true. So she is like, yesterday her name was all up and down social media on Twitter because they felt like she had misreported something else. Turns out that was true though. uh, Doctor Strange is undergoing reshoots. We just don't know the official reason why. So she
Mm-hmm.
might have been completely right, and they was all jumping down her throat. Okay, anywho,
Well, I'm thinking that she would have learned maybe not to report these things if she don't know if she's getting in trouble like this.
but see, it's like it's the trouble is from the fans. So the
Mm-hmm.
fans are all like, "She's never right." So okay, that's I guess that's a chance that she's willing to take to break a story. I don't have no inside sources, so I can't break any stories like that. So I'm not worried about that part of it because anything I say, I'm gonna tell you where I got it from, and then you go
Mm-hmm.
holler at them. But she does have inside sources. She used to work in comic books and all this stuff, so she probably has a bunch of sources that she really trusts, but they do let her down every now and then.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
Bun wants her Star Wars movie.
Yes, they making me mad. They better get my Star Wars back on track. Girl, you might be waiting. It might be a little shit show over there. I don't know how much of what is rumored or what is true. So I'm gonna leave it alone. I'm not gonna talk about it much, but uh, the wait might be a little longer rather than shorter. It's with Star Wars if the rumors are true. We're gonna move along to our second topic. D, what we got for a second topic today?
The illustrious 50 Cent, whom Tasha does not care for.
Not much at all. Not much at all.
But Mr. 50 Cent looks like he's getting the go ahead from Snoop Dogg to.
Are you serious?
I was like, I got music, all right.
Girl, a whole little jazz.
um,
Gosh.
so 50 Cent is going to turn Snoop Dogg's real life murder case into a TV series. Um, he got on Twitter on the morning of November the 11th, and he talked to social media about making this come true. And he disclosed some of his concerns about how he thinks that the fans would perceive this TV show. But nevertheless, he's going to get this going. They don't have any dates right now. It's just that was one of the things that he announced.
Why does this keep girl? Where's that coming from? That's not here. I don't have any I don't have anything open.
It's definitely not me. your
That's
computer,
weird.
your computer is over there just doing this thing.
Yeah, I'm like, I don't have nothing open. So where is this coming from? Do not, and I don't even have share system audio clicked. I don't know where that was coming from. That one was kind of weird. I'm gonna go back to the article, and hopefully we don't get this jazz Charleston type music going again.
Yeah.
But let's see, Chrome tab, share it. Oh, it turned itself on. I saw it do it this time. But yeah, if you don't remember, if you don't remember Snoop's problem that he had back in the 90s,
Yeah.
where he had been accused of basically, I think it was his bodyguard more than him had killed somebody,
Yeah.
and they said that of course Snoop, because this is his employee, uh, was responsible as well.
Mm-hmm.
But of course, like D reported, 50 hopped on social media to share the news with the fans. And he seems like he is very arrogant about, he knows that he's got this TV thing on lock. He said, I'm afraid this is going to be a problem for everything on TV.
Yeah.
Everything on TV has got to worry about him bringing this Snoop Dogg uh, case to the small screen because he said, a moment in time, murder was the case. When the dream you have been wishing for feels like a nightmare, you think you know, but you have no idea. Snoop Dogg's story is so crazy. Boom, green light gang. I don't miss. He's not lacking confidence. That's for
Never
sure. He
has, never
definitely,
has.
yeah, he definitely knows that he feels like he's got a winner in this case. He didn't tell any further details about this series, but uh, there is a fandom for
Yeah.
50 Cent's his TV shows. You've got that one about Big Meech. They call me Big Meech, Larry Hoover. So Big Meech, the real Big Meech.
Mm-hmm.
Um, that's the BMF show.
Yeah.
That's been well received.
Like
That
my
Power, Power Book 2, The Book of Ghost, Power Book 3, Raising Canaan,
yeah.
Power Book 4, Force.
Yep.
That's coming out on February 6th on Stars. So
They,
he has got him a little empire.
yes, he does. And I might add that the Power book, those were very good. Very, very good. I haven't seen the other because I just was being cheap and didn't want to do the star subscription. I said I'm gonna wait till it gets to the end and then I'm gonna watch it all together because I can't stand the suspense. I'm watching it and it's all good, and then I gotta wait all the way to the next week or midnight right before. I was like, oh, it's too much
You
suspense.
good, girl, because I'd be so afraid of getting spoiled. That's why, like, the stuff that I be liking, I have to run out. If I know I like it, I got to run out and see it because other people will ruin the entire experience by telling you the way the shit ends.
This is
Why
true.
do people do that?
This is true, but I have not seen a lot of people talk about it on Facebook like they did Ghost when it first came out. They are not talking about it too much. So I don't know what the deal is. I heard some people say it's pretty good. I think my brother's been watching it. So I used to be in line with him. So I'm going to get myself back together and I'm going to check it out. But whenever this TV series comes out about Snoop Dogg, I'll definitely be checking it out.
Now, I don't know if Lysandra was talking about this 50 Cent news. She said it might be really good, telling the story of Snoop's that the time that he was facing these murder charges.
Mm-hmm.
So it might be. And then she said, "You want us to dance?" I don't know where this music. I listen to a whole lot of stuff, but I do not listen to swinging jazz music. I don't listen to that.
I don't know. Something's going on over there.
Yeah, girl. Somebody want us to listen to it, whether or not I'm really listening to it or not. And the next thing on our list today was about MoviePass, and it said like MoviePass coming back from the dead. Now, if you don't know what MoviePass was, back in the day, maybe a couple years back, it ended, but it started as a subscription service for people who go to the movies, and it started off as say $30 or $40 a month that you would have to pay, and then for some reason somebody had the bright idea to bring it down to $9.95 a month, and you can go to see as many movies as you want. Now, I don't know what they thought, how that profit model works. There is no way that I could pay $9.95 a month and go to see movies every single day of the month. How are you staying in business? What? Where the hell is this music coming from? Oh my God. Okay. Anyway, MoviePass burned through hundreds of millions of dollars before shutting down amid lawsuits and an FTC complaint. But it might be getting a second act. And this is coming to us from, this is not me. I don't have nothing open over here. You sure you ain't got nothing going on your computer? Like, do you have an article open? No, no article open over there.
I have things opening, but there's no music involved.
Does it have like a video like on the bottom that's
No,
playing? And
no,
because I'm like, all I got open is one thing, and
no, no.
what
I
this
don't
is.
have. I don't know what's
Let me
going
make sure I don't have any other windows open over here. I got nothing. I got nothing. But I don't know why that's happening. Because there's nothing over
right.
here. There's nothing over here that's open. Okay, so technical difficulties. Stacy Spikes, one of the co-founders of MoviePass that shut down in 2019, has acquired the assets of MoviePass in a bankruptcy proceeding. So now he's looking to relaunch MoviePass in 2022 with new financial backers. And he is confirming that he got pulled it out of bankruptcy and they want to restart this thing. Of course, $9.95 is an unrealistic amount to charge people for them to see as many movies as they want to see, because you lose money. The movie theater still has to be paid. And if you're not bringing in enough money off of these $9.95 subscriptions to pay off the movie theaters, this same thing will happen again. What they have for AMC, for example, is $21 a month. Now, it may differ in different states and different territories, but what I pay is $21 a month, and I can go to see 3 movies per week in any format, as long as it's at, of course, an AMC. I feel like I probably go to the movies once a week, at least. So that's 4 movies a month. That makes that a good purchase for me. The $21 is much less than what I would pay for 4 movie tickets, and it allows for AMC to be able to recoup some of their money as well. And they kind of bank on the fact that there will be a couple of months here and there that you won't go to the movies 3 times a week, because like this week I didn't go to the movies. I didn't want to see big Clifford the Big Red Dog on the big screen. So I opted out. I didn't go to the movies. So that saves them 3 movie tickets a week. You get what I'm saying? So the AMC program, I definitely recommend, is if you are a regular movie goer, definitely recommend the $21 a month. But we will definitely keep our eyes also on what they're doing in MoviePass, even though I don't know if we should trust them again. I mean, they burned people. they burned people the last time they had to get shut down because they went into bankruptcy. And then their business practices were starting to get a little unscrupulous as well. And I'm saying a little, but it's really a lot, where they were starting to block people from using the service, and they were starting to say, okay, you can go see this movie, but you can't see those movies. So you can't do that. If I'm paying for a subscription service, and when I agreed to this subscription service, I can watch any movie I wanted, 1 movie a day, every day for 30 days. You can't say, okay, now the only movie you can go see is the movies we tell you that you can go see. I may not be interested in those movies. Or you might be partnered with this particular studio, and you're taking a cut kind of under the table for recommending that this is the only movie that you can go see on MoviePass. So their practices got a little iffy. I don't think that we should hold it against them forever, but I do think you should go in to purchasing a MoviePass subscription with a huge grain of salt, because it could turn out to be the exact same type of situation that they had the last time.
Yes.
You got anything to add to that?
No, I will if I do the subscription, it'll be with AMC. It will not be with Movie Pass.
And then also, you just consider who your closest theaters are, because like for me, AMC is familiar and it's the closest. It's probably
Hmm.
the closest one to me. But if you got Regal closer to you, or a Cineplex, or they also have their own subscription services. I'm just big on AMC because A, that's what I use, and B, I'm a shareholder. So of course I'm going to say AMC again. That's a recommendation, and I wouldn't just recommend it because I bought shares in it, but I wouldn't have bought shares in it if I didn't recommend it. If that makes sense.
Yes, definitely.
Girl, what we got next? Lord have mercy. I know what's coming next.
Yeah, I don't even know what to say about this one. This was a shocker to me. Uh, so Little Nas X he is all over the place, and when I say he's all over the place, I mean he is on Maury Povich.
Ooh.
I I don't know what the basis is behind this.
Oh,
They just
okay, I can add to you when you finish. I can.
I just think that he is just trying to stay as relevant as possible and constantly have, his name out there, wondering what he's going to do next. That's the only thing that I can come up with.
I want to say that he's a marketing genius.
It's
I
interesting he chose that route, though.
I'm sorry.
It's interesting that he chose the Maury Povich
I
route.
mean, why not? Like that. Everybody knows that whole. Oh, you're not the father. He knows a shit show, and really,
Yeah.
we know that the reason why, if we watched Maury Povich in the past, if you watch it now, you watching it because it's a shit show. You want to see people run all off the stage crying. You want to see people who don't know who their children's fathers are. You want to wonder to yourself, how does this happen to so many different people? Well,
Several times.
yeah. So when you look at the fact that Lil Nas X has chosen to go on this show, you now know that probably 75 to 80% of what you were watching was staged or acted, because you can't tell me that this situation that Lil Nas X is going on this show for is not something that is staged.
And
It
everybody's going to watch it.
and everybody's going to watch
It's
it,
going to be like the
because it's like
highest ratings ever.
it's like free publicity for just acting stupid. But okay, what the show is going to be about is Lil Nas X. He's not going by Lil Nas X on Maury. He's going by Montero, and we know that that's still little Lil Nas X. I don't even listen to this kid's music, but I know so many little nuggets and facts about him because he keeps his name
Yes.
out there. He's
Yes.
always doing something. So this something is he's taking the love of his life, his ex-boyfriend, Yaya Riza. He's taking him to Maury because he found out that Yaya Riza, while they were dating, was married. How dare
Mm,
he? How
mm,
dare he be married? Now,
mm.
Yaya Riza also would like to know if the woman that he is married to, if that child that she has is his son. So now they're gonna have a paternity test, and my lover is actually married to a woman kind of show. And I mean, it's not something I'm gonna be 100% uh straight shooting with you. I don't want to see this shit, but I can definitely understand why he's doing it and why you might want to watch it. You know what I'm saying? He is, as Lysandra put it so aptly,
He
a
is not
hot
like
mess. He's a hot mess. He keeps his name out there. Everybody keeps talking about him. All publicity for a lot of celebrities is good publicity. As long as you're talking about me, I am relevant.
yes. Yes. Whew. That's an interesting one.
Yes.
I when I saw it, I was like, what?
Wait, what?
Like, is that a typo? They left pressing
No,
like,
this
no, it's
dude
not a
is
typo.
really, he is really going on Maury. He is really,
He's,
and then like if you see the picture, and I'm gonna put it up here, and hopefully you don't get no jazz music behind it. Um, because I don't want, I still, it's a ghost in here or something. Oh, I'm gonna share my screen here. Just the looks on his face, man. If you watch this, I understand why. I'm gonna understand. Look at this, boy. You know good and damn well this is staged and fake. And then you got a whole video right here. Again, you hear how quiet it is. Now, if I wasn't expecting some sound, this time I was expecting some sound. Nothing happened. But okay. So
oh,
yeah. So now he walked up to the board just like everybody do on Maury and point out areas of a child's face to say that this child is definitely his because look at this and look at this.
look at his nose.
Right.
Look at his eyes.
So yeah. Um this is the little boyfriend, I guess. Girl, this is a mess. It says while the Old Town Road rapper and dancer and the dancer, the guy Ariza was one of his dancers. While they split last month, they appear to be hashing out their relationship drama on the Maury show. That boy, do you know how many seeds you gotta lay? You gotta start planting seeds weeks in advance, weeks and weeks in advance to even make this even look like it could possibly be true. But of course, we know that this young man is just he's just out here for publicity. I ain't mad at him. He trying to keep his girl. Wait a minute, is this a freaking engagement ring, girl?
Yes. And yes, and those flowers are going to meet a horrible demise.
Oh, I can almost. And then look at him. Look at him. This boy a fool.
I
He a whole
watched the
fool.
video. I was like, Lord, today this is
Look at this.
look at the flowers.
Oh gosh. Oh gosh.
And then Bun says she wants to see it. She wants to see it a little bit. Oh,
No, she gonna watch this shit. Because she kind of likes Lil Nas X. But of course, how could you not even know? We gonna know who he is because he just keeps his name in the middle of something.
yes, yes.
Well,
He caused quite a controversy a couple of months ago.
with what?
Oh, he was, I think, promoting his album, and he was pregnant
Yeah.
in the album, and it caused so much uproar. Parents was upset. Men were upset because they were like, "How am I supposed to explain this to my son?" Yeah.
Well, I mean, but again, this young man, one thing that he has said that I truly agree with is he's never said that he was out here to be children's entertainment.
Mm.
Now you got to
Monitor.
monitor what your children are consuming. You ain't got to explain nothing about Lil Nas X to your kids. Not as long as you got tablets that you can lock certain things out of. And if you don't want your children to know about Lil Nas X, you just type that in as a search term that you want blocked, and you don't have to worry about it. But because we let these devices babysit our children, you don't know. You're mad. What you're mad about is that you don't know what your kids are into because you're not being active. You're allowing these devices to raise your kids.
And this is going to happen. They're going to see a lot of content that you don't want them to see.
And they're going to see worse than Lil Nas X pretending he's pregnant. They're going to see worse than that if you are not monitoring what your children are watching.
And it's hard to do that because they have friends whose parents may not be monitoring what they're watching. So one way or the other, they're going to see it.
Do we monitor who our children's friends are. Now I can understand you're talking going off to school and that kind of thing. But like if a child is spending, and now we're getting into a subject that's not entertainment, but if a child is spending too much time with a family, and you don't know what that family allows, then you still are doing the exact same thing. If
That's
you're,
true.
it's not Lil Nas X fault about the deficiencies that are within our society as parents and families. And I would prefer to look at something like that together and let them know that this is imaginary. It's not real. Men, and I'm talking men, do not get pregnant. So if you're having that conversation with your child, then you let them know some things are real and some things are fake. And this is
Exactly.
definitely a fake.
Exactly. I think that, parents are not ready to have that conversation. And at some point you're going to have to start talking about, especially the older they get, what they're going to see and what they may not understand. So it won't be such a problem down the line.
Yeah. And I
But,
mean, like,
I think basically he's being held responsible for um what's being on TV. And like you said, we have to monitor what they're watching. They're out there doing this for entertainment. This is their job. This is their livelihood. And unfortunately, there may be some things that you may not agree with, but it's going to be out there. You just have to learn how to explain it to your kids, and hope that you got through, and hope that you know they understand what the situation is. It's it's,
right,
it's a it's a way to open up and have dialogue.
with your kids, right.
Mhm.
So yeah, that was just something that was super funny to me, that this kid, if you don't know how to market yourself, Lil Nas X is a case study for you to learn, because I don't think there has been 2 or 3 weeks where we haven't had something new that he's done. However, however controversial the things are, and he knows that some of the things that does is controversial. That that sells even more than sex. You know how people say sex sells? Controversy. If you keep your name in the middle of some mess for long enough, you become popular for being messy. People will tune in to you on TV and radio and all these different channels if you are a messy enough person. Look at the Real Housewives shows.
Yes. Yes.
They are
And
super messy.
speaking of marketing, like I know this is part of the entertainment. Like Lil Nas X, his outfits, like whoever is creating his outfits, they are wonderful
Mhm.
because they're unlike no other. They use imagination, and they're just really, really geared
They
toward
they
him.
fit his brand. Yeah.
Yes. um and it's just like it's a breath of fresh air. You see him on the red carpets, just like Billy Porter. I love watching the red carpets with them because they push the envelope on what's expected, what's accepted
Now
in the
some of
fashion.
it, like, okay, I like, and I know there's gonna be differing opinions,
Mhm.
but some of that stuff to me is like it's too campy for the events that they're going to. It's like they are trying to upstage the event. And I don't know about Lil Nas X because I haven't watched anything like with him as far as red carpets or anything, but I have
Mhm.
seen Billy Porter walk some red carpets. And while
Mhm.
I could say that the originality is poof 100% there, I'm like, are you trying to be just a spectacle and just to see how much more you can push it from the time before, whereas what you're doing is not fitting with the environment that you should be in. That's my problem with Billy Porter.
Wow. I love his. I don't look at it like that. And like I said, these are all of our opinions. I look
Yeah.
at it as art. Um because we have always been taught you dress to the nine, you dress your best. And I feel that like that's kind of like what that they do, especially probably seeing that they haven't been able to express themselves in those ways before. So now, they're like going for it while they have the time and they have the opportunity and the exposure to do it. I'm just a love of different types of things because I came up in the world of my mom being a seamstress.
Mm-hmm.
So, the creativity from it going to from paper to reality, it just blows my mind every time. Because this is actually something that you just saw and was painted on a piece of paper, and then it comes to life and someone is actually wearing it. That's just like, and seeing the process, that was like the best time for me. So when I look at these events, I'm looking at all of those different things, what different transformations it went through before it got to the finished product. So when I look at it, I'm looking at it out of that lens of the creativity.
Right. And again, there is nothing. I'm not taking nothing away from
No.
how these things are put, how those outfits are put together. But to me, the conception part is, if I walk up to you or to your mom, who is the seamstress, and I say, "Okay, Miss Anderson, this is what I want," and I start telling you what I want, and she could put it together in a way that is still respectful of what I'm going. She's the first question that she probably gonna ask is, "Where are you wearing this?" Now, if I'm wearing it to the Met Gala, that is what that whole gala is for. It's for
Mm-hmm.
just pushing the envelope and making yourself the center of attention, yourself the spectacle. But when we go to certain award shows, not all of them, certain award shows that it's more about, to me, it should be more about the elegance of what you have on than the spectacle of what you have on.
Mm-hmm.
But that's what I have. That's my issue with Billy Porter now. And then I'm in the minority. Most people love Billy Porter, but that's just me. I don't have no I can't say respect, because I really do love what he wears. It's, I don't have the patience for it in certain environments for me.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
And we got Jason Momoa
Woo.
and Dave Bautista.
Ciao.
They are creating a buddy comedy. They had talked about it as they were shooting Dune. And you know what? We got together and we said we want to do a buddy comedy, and we're just looking for somebody to pick it up. And from there, they must have had a pitch, and they auctioned this thing off. This idea that they had off. MGM was the winner out of the four bids that were put in for this buddy action comedy that is starring Jason Momoa and Dave Bautista. So it's untitled at this point. They are two of the biggest stars that we have in action movies, especially this year. I think we've seen quite a bit of both of them here and there.
Mm-hmm.
So they pitched it all over town, and the connection between the writer and the stars come from C. That's an Apple TV drama series that starred both of them, which I didn't know they had already starred in a series together. So they have a very good relationship, obviously, because they've worked together now on on that series. They worked together on Dune, and they've been constantly crossing paths over, we'll say, the last few years, and now we got them working together on an idea that they conceived, and it's going to be backed by MGM Studios. Yep.
Nice. I'm excited about that because I am a Bautista fan because I was introduced to him through wrestling. So
Mhm.
I nobody knows I am a wrestling fan. My grandma got us started on that, and I dibble dabble in between. So that's how I became familiar with Dave Bautista and with Jason Momoa. He's just beautiful. So I start getting wind of him through the the social media and stuff, and then he did Aquaman and he did some other things. So I'm looking forward to that because Dave Bautista has come a long way. He's doing really good with acting. He hasn't been doing the wrestling for a while now. So focusing on the acting, and like I say, he's improved 100%.
I saw improvement when I saw him in Dune.
Mm-hmm.
It made me look at him differently
Differently,
because I'm like, okay, you know how to go from one,
extreme to the next.
yeah, that whole catching the vibe of that moment or what it
Mm-hmm.
should be in a in a movie, especially on the size and scope of Dune, and you in there with some real Hollywood heavyweights. And I felt like that he had just the right amount of fluctuations in his character to make the character real. There have been times that I felt like Bautista was kind of flat, but he showed dimensions
Mm-hmm.
in this particular, in Dooms especially. He showed how many different dimensions there is to Bautista, and I'm like, okay, you got me now. You got my attention because I
Right.
think now you got the goods. You're just waiting on the opportunities, the same kind of leading man opportunities that The Rock and Jason Momoa, and I mean, if we want to just keep it in the world of wrestling, if that The Rock and John Cena and those types of entertainers, they have started to find a bit of success in Hollywood, and I think all David Bautista now is missing is the opportunity to show that he is leading man material.
Yes. Then John Cena is so funny. I know you don't really watch the wrestling too much, but it was a bit where he used to get on the Rock and say, "You just come here, sporadically, and we're here being wrestlers, and you off in the movie world." And he now look at him, but he did come back and say, "Hey, like I understand it, like I get it now, and like you can't go nowhere without seeing John Cena." I love him too. Introduced him from the wrestling world as well. So he's been in some good movies. He's still growing on me with the
Yeah.
acting side, but he's getting better as well.
He has that Peacemaker series. It's coming
Mm-hmm.
on HBO Max. And I'm gonna get a date because I don't remember what the date was that it's gonna start. But yeah, he is getting an opportunity to be the lead in that series as Peacemaker. And I'm looking up the wrong thing. And I am interested in seeing how well he does as, can he carry this series, because he's going to be the focal character.
Mm-hmm.
So I just want to know if he's going to be able to carry the series. We're going to learn what John Cena's
With his
what is
range.
yep, where his range starts and ends. But it's January 2022, so it's coming soon.
Wow. This
It is a
year's just been by
spin-off of
so
that
fast.
movie, the Suicide Squad. James Gunn's The Suicide Squad, not the original Suicide Squad. And if you did you watch the Suicide Squad?
I watched the one with Will Smith in it.
Not that one, the one that had John Cena in it.
I,
That
I
is
don't think so.
I actually I saw some growth
Make a
in
mental.
him. The Suicide Squad.
I said I'm gonna make a mental note of that so I can check it out.
Oh, he because okay, if you're gonna watch it, I'm not about to spoil it.
No,
I
no,
want
go
you no,
ahead, talk about it.
I want you to see what I'm, like what I'm, this, it's a certain part of the movie that I would, if you're going to watch it, you're going to see where John Cena has grown as an actor. If you're going to watch that movie, you will see. And if you have already watched that movie, then you know what I'm talking about. He pulled some crap off as far as uh, being an actor. He pulled that crap off, and I was like, "You fooled me." So yes, if you get an opportunity, watch the Suicide Squad, the one that came out this year, with that was produced by James Gunn.
Okay, yeah, I didn't
It
see.
had Idris Elba in it, and yeah, it was good. But again,
How did I miss that?
I don't know. I don't know. It was kind of, I don't remember what month it was, and it didn't do well at the box office. It didn't do well at all, but it was, to me, a good movie. But it underperformed. And this is where Peacemaker is coming from. So if you watch the Suicide Squad, you will know who Peacemaker is. You'll know why. It's kind of crazy that he even got a show.
Mm-hmm.
It's kind of crazy that he even got a show. You'll know why, and you'll see if John Cena is pulling himself up just a little bit closer to The Rock, because The Rock has, again, he started off as kind of a up and down actor as well,
Mm-hmm.
but the stuff that he did in WWE, to
Mm-hmm.
me, he has such a grip on the character of The Rock, not Dwayne Johnson, The Rock. He has such a grip on that character. I thought that would have given him a leg up in Hollywood as far as to how to go from one extreme to another. Anytime you can go from like babyface heel. You didn't know which Rock you was getting that week, because sometimes you would be like, okay, Dwayne Johnson is the good guy. And anytime he faces off against Stone Cold Steve Austin, Stone Cold in this situation is the bad guy. And then all of a sudden, everything flips on its head in a match that it didn't feature either one of these together, and they become something entirely different. And you have to play your part differently. And I thought that Dwayne Johnson and Stone Cold Steve Austin did awesome at switching the gears and keeping you guessing about which one is the heel and which
Mm-hmm.
one is the baby face.
Yeah, they gave him a hard time when he first started out, and I think it's because like most wrestlers do, they think that you're just that 1 degree. Um, that's that 1 degree of acting that you know. So he had to go in and he had to improve himself. He had some bombs, but he's been like he's
Yeah,
been doing awesome.
I thought he did, you know, I thought even in his earlier work, and this could just be my bias because I really do like Dwayne Johnson.
Hmm.
Um,
Me
I
too.
thought that his earlier work, you can see that he was not a seasoned actor, but
He was
it
dedicated
wasn't
to it.
terrible. Exactly.
He
He
was
learned
dedicated,
his craft.
but
And
he found his niche with. Now, I was the Scorpion King. That was my thing, Mummy and
mhm.
all that. But he found his niche with the kids. What was that one? Fairy tale. Oh God, fairy with the little girl in it. So he found his niche like both ways with the action and with the little kid movies. I can't remember the name of that.
I'm looking.
Um, but yeah, he's like you can't even look away, and he's everywhere. He's
Yeah.
doing everything now. So it's
This
just
is
a building his brand. That's all, and he's doing done well.
and that is what people have learned, that Hollywood has learned, that if you attach his name to a project, that project will be successful. It was just
Yes.
like Will Smith in the 90s. We talked about the early aughts in the
Hmm.
90s. We talked about that a few weeks ago. But now, the person that you know for 100% sure that if you add him to your cast, you're going to put some booties in them seats, as I say, is Dwayne The Rock Johnson.
Yes.
And I'm going to put my spectacles back on because for some reason, this website want to be pink in purple, and I definitely that doesn't stand out enough for me. Now, what movie were we talking about? It was a movie with some children. You said
Yeah, so little girls called Fairy. Uh, no, maybe so it was something with
Tooth
Fairy,
Fairy. Tooth
Tooth
Fairy.
Fairy, and then there was another one when he was like a football player and he had a little girl. Um, those were like geared to kids, and then now he's a daddy girl as well in real life. So
Mm-hmm.
that just meshed really really well with everything. I haven't seen the newest is the Jungle Cruise. I haven't seen it, but I think
That's
it's
Bun's
on
movie.
Disney.
Yeah, it's
Bun,
on
is
Disney.
it good?
It's on Disney Plus.
Yes. Bun, is that good?
She loved it.
Is she still
But
there?
yeah, as far as I know, she loved it. Now, one of his earliest roles in a bit of trivia came on an episode of Star Trek.
Wow.
Yes, Star Trek. I believe it was Star Trek Voyager,
Mm-hmm.
and they were at like kind of a gladiator planet, and he was one of the gladiators, and he actually had some speaking lines. So they didn't just have him there to look good and wrestle with. I believe it was 7 of 9 that he ended up fighting from that show. But yeah, one of his earliest roles was in Star Trek Voyager. But like you said, he's given us. There's one movie that I haven't seen that he did. Now, what's the name of it? I'm trying to find it. But
It's
he's given
also
us Jumanji, the
yes.
G.I. Joe movie that he was in, which Pain and Gain is one that I want to see. Did you see him in Pain and Gain? This one is based on a true story. It's like kind of one of those semi-popular true crime cases. And I heard he was really, really good in that. That movie
Mhm.
came out in 2013. I still haven't seen it, but I'm about to look for it today to see because I really do. They say that he was excellent in this movie, Pain and Gain. And oh, he did the Rampage movie. I saw him in San Andreas.
Yes, I saw
Um,
San Andreas. Hubby is
mhm.
responsible for that, and that was real good.
Now, the one movie, the latest movie that I didn't particularly like of his was
Mm-hmm.
Skyscraper. Did you see Skyscraper?
Mm-mm.
Skyscraper. it was a lot of what was wrong with that movie wasn't The Rock's fault, but it was like a rip off kind of Die Hard. It was that type of movie,
When you said it, I was thinking it. I'm like, oh, okay.
but again, it wasn't his performance that was so terrible. It was a lot of plot points in the movie, but then there were other plot points, or there were other points in that movie.
Mm-hmm.
Some of the cinematography and stuff was great. The Rock didn't do terrible as an actor. The movie was just bad. The movie was bad, but people still went to go see it. They went to go see it because The Rock was in it.
The Rock is in it, and he's starting to
Mhm.
pull his family members into it as well. So, um, he's I can't get his nationality, but he's from
Samoan.
Samoan. He's Samoan, and he has, I think they're his cousins. They're called the Uso brothers. They also wrestle, and the other brother, not the brother, but I think he's a cousin as well. Um, Roman Reigns. Um, and then they also have another cousin. She's a wrestler as well, and I can't remember her name. My brain is just like leaving
Yeah,
me
you
right
have
now.
brain freeze.
Yes, but yeah, and then so this is all connected. Okay, so Bun says that she likes Skyscraper.
Yeah, that's what I'm like. She loves Skyward. That girl, that movie. Me and you gonna have to talk off camera about that one. I'm like, what? But I'm
I'm
gonna
gonna
watch it
have to
again
look this
because
up.
I might go. Maybe it's something again. Dwayne the Rock Johnson, great in the movie. Not great, but as good as you can be in a bad movie. But we'll
As
discuss.
good as it can be in a bad movie. I don't
Yeah,
think I've ever heard that before, but
but
okay.
but then he ain't the only actor. Have you like Denzel Washington movies that have not been top level Denzel movies? but you like, okay, Denzel Washington did okay.
He always do
The
his
movie
thing.
was garbage. Okay, so it's like I think that there are bad movies that people do great jobs acting in, and he did the best he could with Skyscraper, Polo Skyscraper. Now, talking about like Disney Plus Day yesterday, and one of the things that Disney Plus Day introduced was Shang-Chi and 12 other MCU movies that you was going to be able to watch in the IMAX format on Disney Plus now. Okay, I watched Shang-Chi again yesterday, and let me
Mhm.
tell you, there is a part in that movie that makes me so uncomfortable. I didn't realize how much it played with my anxiety in the theater, and I saw it a couple times in the theater. But the part in Shang-Chi that I felt like I was going to have an anxiety attack, it was when they were fighting on the side of that skyscraper, I mean, the
Oh
building
yeah,
and all that scaffolding. I
yeah.
don't know why I could not separate in my mind that this is not really happening to these people. I'm like, having a heart attack watching this show. And I'm like, I didn't realize this the first couple of times that I watched it. I didn't realize it till I watched it at home that made me very uncomfortable. Very uncomfortable. Does something like that ever happen to you? Like you've been watching a movie and what's going on in the movie just kind of hits you in some real feels? I don't know.
Well, yeah, I got a couple of yeah, but not that one because I was just
Oh
like, okay, and it was just like I said, it was beautifully done as well. It was like they out there just dancing on the scaffold. I'm just like,
oh gosh.
this
It
is
was just
awesome.
my
I'm
heart was stopping, even though I knew nothing was gonna happen to them people. I knew that it's all play, it's for play, but I really felt like they were falling. I really felt like Aquafina was hanging off of that thing, that bamboo. Um,
um, mhm.
oh my gosh! I was like, I'm literally about to have an anxiety attack watching somebody else hang off of an imaginary, uh, an imaginary ledge. I'm the one that's getting having a heart attack over here. Lord have mercy.
I
But
think my
yeah,
anxiety came into the UFC fighting part, the MMA fighting part. Because I don't really like MMA in real life. Like I could watch it, but it just seems so barbaric to me. And it's like, boxing, okay, this, that, but with the fact that you could get slapped with a whole foot and toe
right.
across your face and break your nose, and I kind of watched the one with Magruder, and he broke his leg. I'm just, and like it's like this it, I'm like, I'm yelling, his leg broke.
But
And they
that's how,
still going at it. I'm just like,
tell you,
no.
that's exactly how I felt yesterday. What with this Disney? I mean, with this Shang-Chi, watching that again, rewatching it. I really and truly was like, she falling, she falling. They know they practice this like 2 or 3 weeks. They know.
Yeah. So I
Yeah, but
guess I
that
have
yeah.
had
But
that.
see, the UFC, that is kind of that's real. Them people really getting hurt. I'm doing
Yeah.
this like over a movie.
Well, I was doing that. I was doing that during the movie, when they were in the ring fighting in the movie.
Yeah,
Oh,
but it's real. Them people really getting hurt like that. They
yeah.
really are like going at each other like they want to kill each other, and
And celebrating about it.
they know that this is what you walking into this for. You know this is what you going here for. You going
Bless.
here, you could potentially lose an eye or get your leg broke or whatever. This could potentially happen. So this
Yes.
purse ain't big enough. It's just not big enough for me to take that kind of abuse. I don't care how much money it was. I'm gonna go in there, I'm gonna get hit once, and I'm going down. And I'm gonna take my money and run. Yep. Yep. I'm not fighting. I'm not fighting. Because they be trying to kill each other. And you know that you
That's what I said too. I'll be like,
yeah.
okay, the first foot by my face, and I can't get back up. I
Oh, I'm
I just can't
falling.
get with it. I'm like, oh no. So yes, let's go. Oh yes. Disney. Like I'm all excited, and I don't watch half of these things, but I was like, okay, there's a lot of spin-offs going on, people getting second seasons. Okay, I Am Groot. I didn't see that one.
Hmm. I'm looking at this little lineup that they shared before I got rudely cut off of Disney Plus Day yesterday. But yeah, that X-Men '97. Used to watch the X-Men, the cartoon.
Yes, I did, and I
You
see
had boys, so yeah, you watch this.
I was X-Men to death, and then the movies that's come. Jimmy is an X-Man.
A
He
whole
loves X-Men. Every
whole
X, no matter
whole
how many times we see it, it come on. You know the weekends where they have like they running X-Men. We watching it. We
so
watch it. I enjoy it though, but yeah, Devon say yeah, they
yeah,
love X-Men.
because they Quintel too. So we it was like X-Men '97.
Yeah.
If you don't remember, that was the one with the iconic theme song. Okay, if you remember all of that, then you know that the style of animation from that era is a little different than what we see people do now. But
Mhm.
the way I'm understanding is Marvel Studios is committed to bringing us this X-Men '97 animated experience in the same animation style, even that we got in the '90s. So I'm gonna be very interested in seeing how it looks, how well does it play right now. Then they also said that they're picking up like this is one thing you can do with animation that you can't do with with real life actors is we're gonna pick up right where we left off way back then in the '90s. So now
Okay.
you're gonna pick up the series from that point, and we will get a continuation of the series that was out in '97. I thought that was
Mhm.
a great idea. Uh, they got a lot of the same voice talent back. I thought that was really, really fantastic. A fantastic idea of a way to introduce this animation to a new audience and then still bring in people who are kind of have that nostalgia for it. So that was
Mhm.
cool. Um, Agatha House of Harkness. Now,
Yes.
that was the one that was a spinoff, like Dee was saying. It's a spinoff from the WandaVision show. Now we get to follow Agatha in whatever way they are about to present her story. And again, like I was talking, we actually had a conversation going on Disney Plus Day. But if but one of the things that you got all kinds of chimes going. One of
This,
the things
this
that
is my food connected to. Okay. So,
yeah, it's just you know how the computer make them little noises.
yep. Now that was me.
That Agatha Harkness, her story goes all the way back to uh Salem, to the Salem witch trials. So I mean, if you've got that much history for a character to work with, then we should get a spectacular show out of House of Harkness, and it doesn't have to have anything to do with the Scarlet Witch and with the things that was happening in Westview. I'm excited. I loved Catherine Hahn as Agatha, and I of course I love the little theme song Agatha all alone. So I'm excited to see what they do with Agatha next. Then it was Miss Marvel. That is the not a cartoon. That is the show that has and I gotta remember her name. What her the actress's name for Miss Marvel is where is she at? Where is she at? Gosh, I can't find her. Iman Vellani. She's playing Kamala Khan. So she is going to be part of the Marvels. That's the movie that's coming out. That's going to include Captain Marvel. That's Carol Danvers. Tiana Paris as Monica Rambeau. And then this young lady, Iman Vellani, is going to be bringing that role that she is introduced in Miss Marvel. She'll be bringing that to the movie Marvels. So I am excited to see how they exhibit her powers because there are some things about her powers that will be different in the show than they were in the comic books. So if you're a comic book purist, just go ahead and get your mind ready, get your mind right, because it's not going to be exactly what you saw in the comics, and that's okay. Just calm yourself, give it an opportunity. One of the complaints that I've already heard is, oh, she looks like she's trying to be Green Lantern. No, 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 no. If you remember Fantastic Four, and I know we all got some Fantastic Four memory knowledge, that the man, Mr. What is it, Mr. Elastic? What Mr. Fantastic? God, Mr. Elastic.
He was elasticy.
Yeah,
I
Mr.
knew we were
Fantastic.
talking about.
He he does that stretching and all of this stuff. And then if you brought her out first using those powers the way they looked in the comic books, then you are kind of undercutting the Fantastic Four. And we know we'll be getting that within, say, the next 5 years. So calm yourselves. Calm yourselves. Um, I'm excited to see where they go with the Ms. Marvel show. And if us seeing all of these young heroes, if that means we're going to get a young Avengers series as well, we'll keep our eye on that. I am Groot. And they got the baby Groot. You see, this ain't full grown Groot. So you're going to get some baby Groot. It is animated. It is for the children. I don't know where they're going to pick up in Groot's story. Uh, he's got to be a baby, though. I don't know if it's the original Groot going to be a baby, and they're going to tell us where he came from and more about the planet that he derived from, or if we're picking up little baby Groot, the one that was uh, on the ship with on the Milano with the Guardians of the Galaxy. So we'll see. I'm pretty sure that they will give us more information as we get closer to dates for a lot of these projects. Oh, excuse me. Echo. I'm very interested in Echo, and the reason why is because number one, she's another character from the comic books who was deaf, and just the inclusivity is something that, of course, we need more of. But one of the benefits of her power was that she was able to mimic anybody's fighting style as they were coming at her. She could match you blow for blow. So you've got a deaf character who is super outstanding, just a any kind of fighter, melee, anything that you throw at her, she's got it. I want to see if that's the way they bring her to life on this Disney Plus show. She'll be a spinoff from the Hawkeye show. Hawkeye is going to be coming out here on the 24th of this month. And of course, we're going to cover it. We're going to cover it on our Stream Something Sunday show. But she will be first featured on the Hawkeye show, and then she's going to come spin off into her own little series. She is a long-standing ally of Daredevil.
Wow.
Now, Daredevil is not on this list, but Disney and Marvel have probably been listening to impassioned pleas to bring that show to Disney Plus ever since it got canceled on Netflix. So I don't know if the fact that they are putting out one of his sidekicks on on Disney Plus means that we probably will be getting the Daredevil series, but it's something to keep our eyes on, because that will bring back Charlie Cox as Matt Murdock, who a lot of people agree is an exceptional actor in that role. I didn't watch the entire Daredevil series, so I'm not sure. But if I'm going to find a couple of episodes to see if I want to get into it a little deeper. And also Vincent D'Onofrio, who played Kingpin. If they bring them back, I think the fandom will lose their mind, because those are two people that they have been begging the MCU and Disney to bring that show back and to bring them back uh, in those roles as Kingpin and as Matt Murdock. Then Marvel Zombies. Now, if you watched What if you can see that that's coming, we got a season 2 coming of What If. If you watched What If, there was an episode, 2 episodes actually, that featured zombies of our favorite MCU characters. And let me tell you, it was kind of disturbing to watch. It wasn't as disturbing as, say, Aquafina hanging off the side of a building, but it was disturbing because you get to thinking, even though it was animated, you get to thinking, these zombies got Iron Man, they got Captain America, they got if they got all these the big guns, Lord have mercy, what does it mean for the rest of us? And let me tell you, it was a flipping army of zombies coming after the little ragtag crew that had avoided being turned. Now we getting the whole show of this. Now we getting the whole show of it. I don't know how long the series is going to be, but I am all in. I'm not even a zombie person. I don't do The Walking Dead. I don't do the zombie movies. And that's another one that Dave Bautista did kind of good in, by the way. Is that zombie movie that came on Netflix. Now, but that was back when we were talking about it. He did okay in that. I didn't watch that entire movie because I'm not into the zombie thing. However, I can get into it with when you have it joined with a universe that I'm already invested in, which is the Marvel universe. Now I'm a little more sympathetic to these zombies. So I'm gonna watch this, and maybe who knows, it might make me decide, hey, I actually do like zombie movies, you know.
Just
Moon
because
Knight.
it's your
Oh, go
character.
ahead.
Just because it's your characters, that's the only reason why you go.
But if it can introduce me, if it can give me a reason, if it's done well enough and give
Mhm.
me a reason to get invested in that, I can, because it's the same thing that happened with me between Star Trek, Star Wars. I was not a Star Wars fan per se. I liked the original 3 movies when I was a kid. I didn't have any intention of falling into this universe. But what happened was, everybody knows I'm a Trekkie. So I was doing the original podcast after the snap when it was just in the audio format, and I had some friends from Canada actually. So I don't know if they still watch me. I hope so. If you do, shout out. They, along with me, went to Jedi Training Academy. I guess for me, they were already Star Wars fans, and I'm like, okay, yeah, I want to be sold on Star Wars. So every week I watched the Star Wars movie, and then I found, guess what? I like these movies. They're pretty good. And I watched the entire thing. And when I say I watched the entire everything up until the point of the movie that was coming out that year, I watched it all. I Of course, I was doing weekly reviews about it, so I could actually communicate what I liked about it, and other people would tell me, "Oh, what you did you notice this? Did you notice that?" And then I'll be like, "No, now I got to watch it again." And I got more invested in that universe uh, because I was embraced by some people who were already really tied to it, and once I watched it, once I gave it a chance, I liked it. And I think I'll probably be that way. Like my family, they were Walking Dead heads, so they watched a lot of Walking Dead. I've never gotten into it. It was They never gave me like the reason.
Yeah, my
The
dad
one
loves
reason.
it too. My
Oh
dad is into it too.
yeah, the one reason that I do have is Sonequa Martin Green, who played somebody, but she plays in my Star Wars show. I mean, my Star Trek shows too. So I'm invested in her as an actress. So I might give those series a chance. It's just that is intimidating because I already have like all of this other stuff that I've kind of committed to.
Mm-hmm.
But yeah, that Marvel Zombies, I might give it a chance. I might give the zombie franchises a chance if I'm I guess if I'm sucked in by this Marvel Zombies series. Now Moon Knight. Moon Knight is about Mark Spector, and Mark Spector basically was a in the comic books. I don't know what we're doing with him in this series. In the comic books, he was kind of like a mercenary,
Okay.
and he went into some kind of old Egyptian catacombs, and something happened where he got exposed to a ancient god, and this ancient god kind of possessed him. Now, I believe Mark Spector, even before he went into these catacombs, I believe he already had what used to be called multiple personality disorder is now called dissociative ID. Those those he had that mental health issue. So what we are going to see is Oscar Isaacs playing Moon Knight, and we are going to see him play these different identities that are within him as this hero. So it's like a crazy mix of, and I'm saying crazy, and that's a horrible word to use when you're talking about mental health. Okay, note to self, don't ever say that again. But there was like a mix of what is real and what is only in Mark Spector's mind. And that trailer part that was played in a kind of like a teaser that was played in Disney Plus, it actually exhibited. You could see uh, some of that disconnect of his mentality as the character of Moon Knight. I'm super excited because now you also get the representation, and hopefully it's done well, of mental health struggles. We saw some um, investigating of mental health struggles in WandaVision, where she was dealing with the stages of grief. And now we get to see dissociative identity disorder portrayed by Oscar Isaacs as Mark Spector. And hopefully they do this well. I can't see them putting this out and they haven't dotted their I's and crossed their T's about how they represent this on screen. Yeah. And then Ironheart is coming after that. Well, maybe not after that. They didn't give us dates on a lot of these things. Ironheart is Riri Williams. Riri Williams is black. First of all, hey, she's another black hero, female, coming into the MCU, and she's a genius. So she is probably not the level of Shuri from Black Panther genius, but she's a genius. And she went to MIT in the comics, and you know that that's a pretty hard to get into school. They don't just let in anybody. It also happens to be the alma mater of Tony Stark. So now Tony Stark, if you remember, which movie was it? Civil War, where he created an endowment to MIT students way back in the Civil War movie. It's possible that Riri Williams was the recipient of one of those grants. That's where how she ends up in MIT, and she will be taking over the reins as uh, not Iron Man, but Iron Heart, which excites me because not only do we have the representation, she is carrying the torch after Tony Stark. She's going to build her own armor, and she's going to be part of this group of heroes. And she's brilliant. She's smart. What you over there doing?
No, hubby just told me.
I can tell your whole demeanor just switched over there. So yeah, Ironheart. I cannot wait. I cannot wait. The representation, the fact that she is going to be flipping genius. You know what I'm saying? And the fact that she's going to be playing another person in some armor. I'm all here for it. I'm here for it. This is she's going to be introduced in the Black Panther movie, as far as I know.
Mm-hmm.
Then we'll carry on her story in this show Ironheart. and I'm looking forward to that. That'll be coming also on Disney Plus. If you are just coming in and don't know what the heck we're talking about these shows and series that were introduced during Disney Plus Day.
Now, did they give you a date on that? On
It's
that?
like a lot of this stuff didn't have any dates attached to it.
Okay.
It would just say "and coming soon," which is one of the problems I had with that presentation. I liked a lot of what they did, but then I'm like, now come on, y'all, you got to have you got to at least have a date for some of this stuff, you know. But we're gonna take what they gave us. We're gonna be great. Gratitude, show gratitude for what we got. Spider-Man freshman year, another animated series. It's interesting because it's well known that Sony owns the rights to the Spider-Man character. I'm wondering if that's only live action and if Disney holds the rights to anything animated. And
Mm-hmm.
I think there might be a separation there where Disney and Marvel owns the animated stuff, but uh, no, that can't even be true because Sony did an animated Spider-Man, that Into the Spider-Verse, a
Okay.
couple of years ago. Did you ever see that?
No, but I heard it was really good.
It was so good. Okay, but I didn't went off that was really, really well done. Like people who don't even, I have a friend who doesn't even like Marvel nothing. She's got grandchildren, and she was like, I know you watch all them cartoons, and she used to watch any movie. All of my movies are cartoons to her. That's what, you know, that's what type of friend she is as far as into this type of stuff. She's not at all. She called all my movies cartoons. So she's like, I know you watch them cartoons. I got my grandkids over here. Which cartoons should I watch? I said, this was when that weekend that it came out. I was like, you need to take them boys to see Spider-Man Into the Spider-Verse. She took them. She came back and told me, I like that movie.
Hey.
Off the digital copy for herself. So again, she don't even like this stuff. That's how good Into the Spider-Verse was. Now, these Spider-Man movies, we know we got this one coming out, Spider-Man No Way Home. We talked about it at the top. But this Spider-Man freshman year, I'm wondering, does that tie into the whole universe? Because remember, the way the Spider-Man movies for Disney and the MCU went was Spider-Man Homecoming first.
Mhm.
So I'm wondering if we are going to see that version of Spider-Man a little younger, and we see him fresh in his freshman year, where we get to follow him throughout his freshman year.
Mhm.
But I don't know because there's not a whole lot of information. They just gave us these posters and said, "Here, take this," and now we speculating until we get a real itinerary for these shows. But I'll keep my eye very heavily on this animated feature. And then She-Hulk. Now,
Yes. What's this about?
She-Hulk is okay. Jennifer, and I'm gonna say her last name is Walters in the comics. I gotta look up her name. Make sure I'm giving you the right last name. It's gonna be played first and foremost by God, I just had this lady's name in my head. Tatiana Maslany. She
Mhm.
is playing She-Hulk. But Jessica, let me see. What is her real name? I want her real name. Jennifer Walters. I was right. Gosh, I don't know why I second guessed myself. So she's an attorney. She somehow needed, as far as the comic books are concerned, she needed a blood transfusion and ends up getting one from her cousin, who happens to be Bruce Banner. So she gets this blood transfusion, and then she starts to experience the issues that he had when he was exposed to that gamma radiation. She starts to become a Hulk, and in the comic books, she stayed in her green form. She didn't come out of the green form, and it wasn't powered by rage and different emotions, much like it was with her cousin Bruce Banner. But uh, sh- she didn't have an anger issue. She was completely within her faculties, just in the body, in a bigger body. We saw some a little bit of that during Disney Plus Day, and what I saw, I kind of liked, and the reason why is because we know she's a Hulk. Just like in the comic books, they kept her femininity intact. And I know a lot of people might feel like inclusivity, but this is something that is definitely canon. That she was a very feminine, but huge. I want to think. I used to think of China, the
Mm,
wrestler, when I used to think
mhm.
about these things, but she even started bulking up kind of at towards the end of her wrestling career. She was bulking up a bit. I liked her a little leaner when she was a little leaner. I used to always say she could be Wonder Woman. She could be Wonder Woman. This is the type of animation or the CGI that they're doing for Tatiana Maslany. Because one thing that Clarence shared with us yesterday during Disney Plus Day was that Tatiana Maslany is 5'4". Now the She Hulk character is huge.
Huge.
Tatiana Maslany herself is only 5'4", and I'm thinking, dang, she's taller than me. But just by but she's a small person though. She's just 1 inch taller than me. So I'm like, I'm guessing a lot of the work that makes her more hulking is going to be CGI, which gets a little expensive. Which makes me wonder: is this going to be a limited series? If we are only going to get a few episodes, and then they're going to be like, okay, now the next time you see her is going to be in this movie, because on TV that can get to be expensive. Keeping her in the Hulk form, even though she's a small
Yeah.
little person, and then you trying to do this over multiple seasons. So we gonna see, but I am excited to see her uh, or Tatiana Maslany as She Hulk. Actually, it was a point. Speaking of her femininity, she was getting out of a car, couldn't see her entire body. This was in that teaser trailer from yesterday, so we couldn't see her entire body. But she put her leg out of that car, and her leg looked like it was a mile long. She had on some bad heels and this sequin dress, and then she stood up, and you can see that she has got the silhouette. She is still very shapely, feminine, but just big and green. And it was another shot that they gave. I think that was giving it some gratuity to the young men out there, is that she was in like some workout gear, and of course they showed her in her Hulk form from behind, so you just got nothing but the back silhouette of She-Hulk, and that I'm pretty sure that excited some of the guys. or the girls, if you into that kind of thing. But yeah, I'm looking forward to seeing more out of this show, because I think that one is it may have actually had a date attached to it. Let me go back over here and look. That one might have had a date attached. Just 2022. It's just saying that it's coming in 2022. Then we got What If season 2. So if you watch What If season 1, you pretty much know What If is talking about or exploring the different universes within the multiverse that have our heroes. So our heroes being the Avengers, and that extended family that we saw of the Avengers heroes. What if season 2 could possibly be picking up where season 1 left off, where the Watcher, who is he's from a race of beings that is put there to do nothing but watch humankind, watch watch what we do, basically, and he can watch the multiverse. You might pick a universe to watch and follow along with, but and that's what Owatsu did. He kind of had a favorite universe, and he was watching, and when things he's never supposed to interfere. But if you ever read about him in the comic books, you know he always interfered. But you can see Jeffrey Wright voices the Watcher in this animated series, and you could see him getting to the point where he's like, he gotta stick his nose. You gotta help. You gotta push them along in the right direction. Give them just a little bit of help without completely interfering yourself. But it went against what his race of people were supposed to do. They were not supposed to interfere at all. So we might see season 2 showing us what the repercussions were for him interfering in season 1. I'm very excited to see what happens, and especially because you get to see all these alternate universes of the MCU and all the things that are basically that could happen if one thing went different in our universe, the movies that we've seen. If one thing went different, what would happen then? What if this happens? And then what would that cause to happen after? I like the premise. I'm excited for season 2, and I hope they don't stop at season 2. I hope they have a season 3. And then the last show was Secret Invasion. A Secret Invasion is kind of picking up on some characters from Captain Marvel, the movie, the Skrulls. You know, the Skrulls are shapeshifters. They see you, they can copy you from head to toe. Then there are such thing also as super Skrulls, where if you are a powered being, they can copy you along with your powers. But the regular Skrulls, they can copy you, but not like if you were enhanced, they couldn't copy your powers.
Mm-hmm.
Okay, in Secret Invasion, that race is going to be in the cartoon. I mean, in the comics, not in. I don't know what they're doing for 100% with this show, but with Secret Invasion, the Skrulls had taken over people in high places, like people that you thought you knew and that you thought you trusted might turn out to be a Skrull in disguise. That is one of the things that I really like. So Secret Invasion is basically, you know what an invasion is.
Invasion of the body snatchers, kind of. So.
It's pretty much they got these people, they have taken over for people in high places, and now you're at the will of the Skrull. The one shot they showed at Disney Plus Day was of Samuel L. Jackson's Nick Fury.
Oh.
However, this was a grisly looking Samuel L. Jackson. I want to find, and I wonder, I can't remember if Clarence sent me one of those pictures or not. I'm gonna have to go take a look on. I mean, we ain't got no comments today, dog. Nothing to keep you from waiting on me to find what he sent to my inbox yesterday as far as those pictures.
No, that's okay. We can wait on it. I'm excited. I've not seen any of these except for X-Men, but I'm excited to. I might even watch this Secret Invasion thing. And I definitely will do the Ironheart.
Oh, okay. Yeah, he did send me one, D. He sent me a picture of that Nick Fury, and as soon as I get it loaded up here, I'm gonna share my screen. Because he looks so different. You see that?
Oh, he doesn't have the patch.
Don't got the patch.
And
got a full beard.
Yeah.
He got
he's
the
older Nick Fury.
Right. And I'm like, okay, is this Nick Fury? Because we get to talking about Skrulls. If
That's
you
true.
watch Spider-Man Far From Home, that came out, was that last year, year before? Had to be the year before, right? Spider-Man Far From Home, at the end of that movie, I hate telling spoilers for movies that I think you might go and watch. But at the end of that movie, we found out that the Nick Fury that Spider-Man had been interacting with throughout the entire movie
Mm-hmm.
wasn't Nick Fury. It was a Skrull. So not only Nick
I
Fury,
gotta
but
watch
his
that again because it was just on, and I saw him, but didn't pay attention to. Now I gotta watch that again.
what you got to remember with your especially Marvel, with the MCU Marvel, make sure you watch past the end credits all the way through the last credit, because that's where some of those scenes are showed. Um, and that's where we saw that those people were not Samuel L. Jackson and his right hand woman Maria Hill. It was actually some scrolls. And I'm like, wow, wow. So how long have they been masquerading as Samuel L. Jackson? And then we found out where our real Samuel L. Jackson was, which he was out in space. So they have, it appears, because they all we saw him was in space. It appears that they have built their space observation center, and now he is over that. So if they can fool us, we don't know how long they've been fooling us. We know the scrolls have been around since the 90s, because that's when Captain Marvel took place. So we know that they have been part of America since the 90s. So anybody could be a scroll between the 90s and between Thanos snapping his finger and everybody coming back. Anybody could be a scroll. And I'm very interested to see who is. Like, who is a scroll and who is real. I'm very excited for Secret Invasion. Very excited.
Just hearing you explain it is exciting. So I don't know when I'm gonna find time to watch all of this, but
That's
I'm
what
gonna put my
happens.
best foot forward on it.
That is what happens. I say I'm not gonna overextend myself trying to watch these shows, but they're not gonna all come out at the same time either.
Mm-hmm.
I'm not gonna overextend myself, but you can best believe that the ones that are on this graphic here, out of those, the ones that I'm most excited for and that I'm definitely following is the Agatha House of Harkness, Ms. Marvel, Echo, Marvel Zombies, Moon Knight, Ironheart, yeah, all of those. So She-Hulk, What If, Secret Invasion, and I can almost
It's almost
guarantee
everything.
it's almost everything, but I can guarantee you they're not going to have them overlapping one another. They want to keep your attention for the
Mm-hmm.
whole year. It's just like our Star Trek stuff. I was under the false impression that they were going to have both Prodigy and Discovery on at the same time, and then you get to thinking about it. You like, yeah, no, they want that. They want your attention for 52 weeks. So they're going to stop Prodigy to run Discovery, to bring back Prodigy, to run the next thing. They want your attention for 52 weeks. And they got mine. Like Disney, definitely, if they once they start rolling this stuff out, plus the stuff that we're getting that is Star Wars related, they've got my attention probably for the entire year. And then the same with Paramount Plus with their Star Trek stuff. They're going to have my attention for the entire year as long as you're rolling out new Star Trek stuff. So,
It's gonna be a big 2 years, 2 to 5 years going on with all this.
well,
With the movies
honestly, as soon
included.
as we get into the middle of these things, they're going to start talking about other shows.
Yeah.
They're never going to let their foot off the gas. We know that we're getting that Blade. If you watch the Eternals, because I specifically said that this is going to be Eternal spoilers. So I am going to drop some spoilers. I don't have nobody in the conversation over here. The ones that wanted me to do the spoiler
Right. I'm here for the
episode.
spoilers.
Yeah, but I mean, Reinhardt and Clarence, they're the ones they was like would have a lot to discuss. because they both have seen the movie.
Mm-hmm.
But I'm going to say this because, and I guess what I'm doing is warning you that I'm about to drop an eternal spoiler. And if you don't want that to, this is probably where you should shut off. But one of the spoilers for Eternals is that at the end, there's a post-credit scene. And in that scene, the character Dane Whitman, who I told everybody, hey, keep him in the back of your mind. He might show up again. Of course, I knew he was going to show up again because in this post-credit scene, he's standing at the Ebony Blade. Now, the Ebony Blade in the comics was like an heirloom that was passed from person to person, or like it's a male thing in their family. And uh, this gives them some powers. So if he picks up this Ebony Blade, he's going to be endowed with the powers of the Black Knight. We hear a voice behind him off screen saying, do you really think you should be about to pick that up, Mr. Whitman? And everybody's running around wondering whose voice was that? We know it was somebody black. You could tell the cadence of a black person's voice. So you knew that it was a black person's voice. There are two characters right now that we are kind of keeping our eyes on to see when they're going to appear in the MCU. One of them is Jeffrey Wright as Uatu the Watcher, just like I was talking about as on the What If cartoon. The second one is Mahershala Ali's Blade. And when I heard that voice, I knew that was Mahershala Ali. So this is telling us that Blade is going to be emerging into the MCU sometime soon here. And it is possibly going to be in tandem with the Black Knight. And if we start, also, you kind of realize that he could possibly be tied to, now I'm going into what I think. This is not substantiated by anything. It's just what I think. It also could be tied to Agatha Harkness, to Moon Knight. All of them could be tied together to form their little crew. And I have forgotten what they called. Was it the Dark Avengers? I forgot what they called that group kind of anti-heroes. But I want to say it was Dark Avengers. You can see a crew forming. So we know Mahershala Ali and Moon Knight and Black Knight and Agatha Harkness could all be part of this clique. And you can see the wheel spinning with Disney. That's going to be the next set of Disney Plus shows. Anything to keep you reeled in from stopping watching, you're going to have to keep watching because they're going to keep putting these shows out. And then just when you think, okay, I've caught up on all the shows, they're going to throw a movie at you. But I am excited. Once I heard Mahershala's voice, I was like, that has got to be Blade. That's got to be Blade. And of course, there was arguments online about who it was until it was confirmed that it was Mahershala Ali. So he's coming. Blade is coming. What else did we have? Gosh. Besides that, the Eternals other post-credit scene. I'm gonna go ahead and spoil it. Ain't nobody out here, anyway. The other post-credit scene showed half of the Eternals that were left in the Domo, and that's their big old ship. And they were going around looking for other Eternals who had been misled by their quote-unquote gods, the Celestials. So they're going around looking for other Eternals to try to wake them up, to make them realize what had been happening to them. I'm not going to go into what had happened to them because I really do want something to be a surprise in this movie. But this post-credit scene showed them so that the ones that were on that ship were Druig, the deaf one, Maury, and then Cena, the one that's played by Angelina Jolie. So they were on the ship, and somebody, a little midget, little gnome or whatever you want to call him, just beamed himself onto their ship. and started introducing a character, saying that this person I'm introducing and they are on their way and blah blah blah. And when they finally got to the end, I got a burp. I'm sorry. Excuse me. When he got finally got to the end of his whole little introduction, if you know who Harry Styles is from One Direction, and he's big amongst the little young girls, and the theater went nuts when he showed up on screen because the young ladies. But he is playing Eros, and Eros is Thanos' brother. Now, if you remember who Thanos is, Thanos was who gave us the snap and disappeared half of the universe. Okay, his little brother, who looks very much like a regular humanoid, he wasn't born with that deviant gene like Thanos was. So he pops on and he was like, pretty much, I can take you to my celestial, and we can have a conversation about when they're going to do things. He was connected to a celestial. But what makes his character kind of interesting is number one, he's got a little bit of a history with She-Hulk. Um, Number two, it's a crazy choice because his power is kind of like what you would call rape. His power is what you would call rape in 2021 because one part of his power is he can evoke different emotions up out of you. He can make you like him. He's a very sexual character in the comic books where he wasn't above having an orgy or two. He wasn't above being a philanderer and moving around, sticking and moving. So I can see he could be a problematic character so we know that that's not the way that Disney or the MCU is going to portray his powers. We just know that this is the baseline. This is where where he came from the comics. There's going to have to be a whole lot different about this character uh for the for the movies, because cancel culture is real and they would probably have a real good reason to cancel his ass. So he also, let me come up out of this. He also what was I going to say? The connection that he had with Jennifer Walters, who is She-Hulk, was she she defended him, or was she prosecuting him? She might have been prosecuting him for the offense of rape. So I can guarantee you we're not going to see that.
Wow.
MCU and Disney is not going for that, but that is how their paths kind of cross in the comics.
Okay.
Comic books got real, baby. They got real.
Yeah.
Especially Marvel. I'll say especially Marvel. They wasn't afraid to go there. A lot of, and I'm not saying that it's good or bad. A lot of people are like, I'm not touching that with a 10-foot pole. Marvel was like, we'll go, and they would just go there. But yeah, it's good to see that they weren't afraid to push boundaries, but at the same time, some of the stuff that they let come across back then was unacceptable. Even then, some of it was unacceptable. But yeah, but that was it. I have wrapped up everything that all the big things that they talked about on the Disney Plus day, especially the shit from Marvel. Now, there also was the Will Smith National Geographic thing that he's doing over on Disney Plus, and the stuff that Chris Hemsworth is doing. I want to say it's like extreme. Gosh, I can't remember. Extreme fitness kinds of things. Chris Hemsworth is into that. He's really into keeping his body right. And, of course, it started around the time he started being Thor in the MCU. But this man has been so dedicated, and he looks so sculpted and so on his body looks unreal. He's playing Hulk Hogan in a movie too. Did you know that?
No.
So you will see, and I'm going to find that picture. But he's supposed to be playing Hulk Hogan in a movie, and I'm gonna
What?
pull up what I can find about that. But yeah,
What?
again, that is something to you kind of be careful because again, Hulk Hogan is kind of a controversial figure after his WWE days or W. Was he in NWO or was he in WWF? He was in.
Both.
Where did he end up? Where was his last?
WWE,
So
which he
yes,
comes back from time to time, especially around um, um, WrestleMania
WrestleMania.
time. So like right now, he's had I think some type of back surgery or something like that. I read with an interview from his daughter. So we don't know if you're gonna see him with for next year for WrestleMania.
Okay. So yeah, he's playing Hulk Hogan in this biopic, and it's going to be on Netflix. And of course, when that one comes out, whenever that is, I will be partaking
Yes.
partaking in me some Chris Hemsworth. But Hulk Hogan, polarizing figure. Hopefully, our fandoms can realize that he is playing a character. He is not Hulk Hogan. Okay, I want to trying to see when this movie is coming out, and also I want to find that picture of Chris Hemsworth and how jacked he had gotten to play that role. Of that, of course, him getting jacked to play that role kind of overlapped with him getting ready for Thor 4. So in Thor 4, we are about to see a very, very jacked beyond what he used to be, beyond what we've seen him be for Thor in the past. This man got huge for Hulk Hogan. I'm trying to find the
And
picture
they had
because
them 24-inch pythons.
oh girl, let me because it's so freaking unbelievable how good
So
he.
it's set to begin the beginning of 2022. That's all I see.
Yeah, I want a date. Yeah, that's what I'm saying. They haven't released no date yet, and that is one. Look at the arms on Chris Hemsworth here.
Yes, I just saw that picture.
That right there is flip. I
Yeah.
mean, his chest even got bigger, but I was very, very impressed with Chris
Full
Hemsworth
embodiment.
and the dedication that it takes to bulk up like this, and hopefully he's not using any that special stuff to
Mhm.
bulk up. But at the end of it, oh gosh, the dedication to playing that role Chris Hemsworth has is absolutely outstanding.
Well, you can't go into that, lightly. He's even in his older age, he's still the original Hulk.
The
Hulk
real
Hogan.
Hulk Hogan.
He's in good shape. Other than like all the surgeries and stuff that he's had. Because usually, what's happened with the wrestlers when you see them again, or they get inducted into the Wrestling Hall of Fame, you don't even recognize them
Mm-hmm.
because they're not jacked like they nowhere near jacked like they used to be. So
Right.
yeah, he's definitely maintained his physique throughout the
Mm-hmm.
years.
And I wonder how much this we didn't got off on something. We weren't even talking about this at first. Lord have mercy. I don't know how that happens. How does that happen? Am I that
Because
scatterbrained?
you asked me about this,
No,
and
I'm
this,
just
and
girl.
I know.
I'm just. It was a rhetorical question. I know how it happens. We
Jesus.
get to talking, and it's something. But this Chris Hemsworth playing Hulk Hogan. I'm wondering, like, how much of Hulk Hogan's story are they going to really cover? How much ground are they going to cover in this documentary? I mean, not documentary, biopic. I wonder how much ground I'm looking at an article from August. It says, let's see if they're telling us what years this is going to cover. Is it only going to cover the heyday from the beginning when WWF days? Is it going to cover that, or is it going to cover what? Let's
It's gonna let me see, documentary will focus on the life of the star of WWF and WCW.
Yeah, but they're not giving me like a window. That's what I want to know. Like, if are they going to just cover his career, or are they going to cover the scandals that came out after the career, or are they going to cover how he got to from, I want to know like what era Hulk Hogan is Chris Hemsworth supposed to be. I want to assume, because of the age of the actor, that it's going to be during the heyday WCW, WWF days. Yeah, he's very dedicated to playing that role and making sure he gets it right. And I would love to hear, what I want to do is hear how he sounds speaking as Hulk Hogan, because Chris Hemsworth got that strong accent, and I just want to see if he's going to be able to capture the voice and the dialect of Hulk Hogan.
Mm-hmm.
But yeah, that's it for me. I don't have anything else.
We've covered a plethora of. Now that's me. I'm quite sure that was me. My iPad. What is that? Still didn't know where that was from.
Yeah,
yes.
I'm gonna figure it out. I'm gonna figure out what was in here, making the jazz. No, I don't do all that. Yeah, I kind of missed our friends today. So we've got some different friends out there watching us, because our regulars are not in the chat, but I see how many of you are there. And if you are there and you've not yet done so, we are inviting you to subscribe to After the Snap for movie reviews, streaming series recaps. That's what we're doing tomorrow, is recapping series and discussions tomorrow on Stream Something Sunday. We also cover entertainment news. I've been trying to do it on now twice a week. I was just doing it on Saturdays for the weekly wrap up. Then I added that Wednesday show. I kind of surprised myself with the midweek meltdown. So if you are into this kind of content, we are inviting you to subscribe. Make sure you turn on your notifications. This is something I always forget to say. Make sure you turn on your notifications so you'll know when we are going live again. And the next show is going to be Stream Something Sundays at 3 p.m. tomorrow, where we will start with Prodigy, Star Trek Prodigy. We're going to start with episode 4 of that. We're going to move our discussion over to something that is upcoming, which is Amazon Prime. It's going to have The Wheel of Time. That's a show that I'm particularly interested in. We're going to find out what y'all watching. Let you guys tell the world what your favorite show is and why we should be watching it. Yeah, share your nuggets of wisdom. And also Red Notice, the movie that is starring Dwayne "The Rock" Johnson, Ryan Reynolds, and Gal Gadot. That it had released this weekend, yesterday. So you get an opportunity to let us know if you've watched it, and if you did, what you thought about it. We have a good old discussion. And we'll do that all tomorrow at 3 p.m. Central. You got anything else? Any parting gifts for the viewers, D?
No, I do not have anything. It has been a pleasure.
Oh, as usual. Per usual.
Yes.
We have had fun. So, yeah. That was it. That was all. I ain't got nothing else. See you tomorrow if you're going to be here with me tomorrow. If not, you can always join me on Wednesday for the midweek meltdown. I guess that's a new show. Guess I've just made that a new show. With all that being said, I've got nothing else. We'll see you in the next one. Hey.